Atmosphere here in Barnsley, famous for brass bands, Dickie Bird, and of course the Weber Cup. Europe 14 points to 7 up, but the USA fighting back. Can they get another point on the board, or will Europe edge closer to that magic target of 17? It's a mixture of singles and doubles games today. The players just warming up, ready to go, and that's the game we have to look forward to next. Williams and Barrett versus Jones and Parker Bohn III. So let's head over once again to Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, the last remnants of the warm-up in progress before we go into the next match here at what is becoming a fascinating Weber Cup. Match 22, we go to Scotch doubles. It's a phenomenon in sport. You can play really well to get yourself to the line, but crossing the line can sometimes be a problem. And Cass, I guess that is Team USA's one hope here at Weber Cup 16.
Yes, indeed, Simon, but let's face it, they're up against the dynamic duo, the two UK bowlers in the European side, Captain Don Barrett and Stu Williams, the two most decorated players that the UK's ever produced, having won PBA tournaments in the United States. It's a very important one for Team USA, and it's the freshly dressed lane as well. It's been re-oiled, 45 feet of heavy volume oil. There's 4 times as much oil in the centre of the lane as there is on the outside. It tapers left to right, so that will bring Parker Bohn, the only left-hander, into play. And it's just a matter of whether they can find that break point between 45 and 60 feet.
34-year-old Stuart Williams, first man to claim a PBA title from the UK. He was followed very shortly, only a matter of hours actually, after by Dominic Barrett claiming his PBA title. So the pair flew back with their trophies from a very successful visit to Las Vegas a couple of years ago now. And here's a man that has won more than anybody here in this Weber Cup, Parker Bohn, with those 34 regulation victories and 2 majors, the only left-hander in this year's tournament. And there is the long sword oil pattern that we were talking about, 45 feet of oil, Cass.
Yes, and the heavy volume, 25.5 millilitres spread across the whole of the lane, which equates to a couple of gin and tonics. It doesn't sound a lot, but it really is. It's just wafer thin, like a piece of paper laying on the lane. And of course the players can't see it. They don't know where that oil is. They just have to be aware of the distance and the reaction that their ball will get once they've thrown it. And so here we go, match play on.
It is business time down there. Game face is on. Relatively curt handshakes ahead of this one. Tommy Jones, the lead-off man for Team USA in this Scotch doubles, the skipper, has just got under the skin of a couple of the Team Europe players in this session. Stuart Williams in particular. I think Stuart is more than up for this game. But it's about you and the lane, if you want to beat your opponent. Jones then. Away we go with match 22. Now we get underway with a strike. Tommy Jones has looked the best of the American players so far today. We're yet to see Parker Bohn III in action, but TJ certainly looks lined up.
Yes, and this strike will bring Parker Bohn up to shoot the first ball in frame number 2. Jones striking, and they have to change order. So Stu Williams up now, chasing from the first frame.
Williams looked good as well when he bowled earlier today, bowled alongside Martin Larson in a game against Wes Malott and Tommy Jones that they could have won. Larson had a ball for it, but couldn't finish it. And he's continued with the same line. That is a really confident start from Beef Stew. Told you he means business.
Very delicate the way he laid the ball on the lane. Not so much power and pace, it's finesse and rotation. And it's just about perfect. Look at that, right in the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander.
So, the next 2 deliveries will be from players who have not featured so far in this afternoon's session. This man, Parker Bohn III, the only left-hander here in Barnsley. And that looked tight all the way, Cass.
Pretty unfortunate, yeah, the radar needed to be redirected. Except the 247 and the 8-pin, but he doesn't have to spare it. It's Jones, his partner, that has to come up and shoot those away, and he's got the sleeper there, the 9-pin behind the 2. So it's got to be an accurate spare.
Yeah, that's Scotch doubles for you. Miss the strike, go and sit down. Your partner has to tidy up, but it means, most importantly for Europe, that for the moment, Tommy Jones will be off the strike line, and you just see him going through that delivery, mentally rehearsing what has happened, and he's going to try and iron out the problems, because he'll be back for the next strike ball for USA. And that is an open frame. An open frame's hurt. There's no two ways about it.
Well, it was unfortunate. It was an error from Parker Bohn, and Tommy Jones can't convert it, so they both suffered. And now it's time for Don Barrett to stand up, working on a strike for Team Europe and shoot another one. Take early advantage of the error by Parker Bohn.
Barrett's first ball of this final day of play. European captain has barely put a foot wrong. A couple of performances that he would prefer to forget from his own point of view, but he's looked after his team, managed the situation very well and coped with the pressure. To the point where he can throw a ball like that under incredible stress. I mean, that was some delivery.
Yeah, big smiles all around. He's glad to get this one out of the way. And it is a great looking shot. He's light in the pocket, but he's got such a reaction off that ball. It bounces all the pins around the pin deck, sets up that chain reaction, and it's 2 strikes in a row for the Europeans. Now pressure time for Parker Bohn. His first shot was wayward, and he's up again to shoot the first ball at a rack of 10 pins.
Got to find his line this time. He's gone wider. Will it come back? No. And there's the problem for Parker Bohn. We saw this from him quite a bit yesterday. When he went wide, he couldn't get back to the pocket.
It's the heavy and longer oil that's done him on that shot. He's left the 3 in the 9-pin sleeper for Jones to spare. But the problem is that Parker will be up next time in frame 4 to shoot the first ball again. He'll be shooting the first ball until he gets a strike. And all Jones can do is try and spare what's left. That's the unique format of Scotch doubles.
It was tricky with a sleeper, 1 pin behind the other. Jones this time dispatches it, but already the potential maximum for Williams and Barrett, though. Early doors, they won't be thinking about that. They'll just be thinking about the line and the pace at which they threw the last ball and try and replicate that. Williams' line looked very good. It's looked good all day, actually. He's been the pick of the Europeans so far.
It's certainly a big ball that he's bowling here. It's very close. Oh, and it's just
up on him.
Just snapped through the head pin, didn't it? So no 3 strikes in a row. It's the 3, 6 and the 10 that's been left. Just snapped up at the last minute there. Look at that drive straight through the face of number 1 pin, the head pin, and he doesn't like it. But he doesn't have to spare it. It's his partner, Don Barrett, that has to. It should be a straightforward spare for the European captain. Just come across to the left-hand side of the lane with his harder spare ball. Straight at it. Hold on.
No.
Oh, no. Word.
Oh dear. So Europe repeating the same mistake that we saw from Team USA earlier. An open frame. A quick apology there from Don Barrett. You might just have picked that up on the stage mic. So sorry to his partner. He's got nothing to apologise for, though. He's played very well as the Team Europe captain. And as Cass said, it's going to be Bohn until he finds a strike. This one's tight. Nearly got away with it, but doesn't.
Just the 9 then, Parker. Oh dear. I think the ball must have actually hit that pin as it went through. It really just wobbled, didn't it? But didn't want to know about going over.
Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, it does. It just gives it a nudge, and it was one of the messengers that stopped it going.
We can't believe it. It can only be a spare, and Parker will be up again to shoot the first ball.
It's been Team USA all day today. That run of bad breaks that they had over the last 2 days, they were hoping they'd seen the last of it, but it's still not happening for Parker Bohn. So there are the potential maximums. 265 still looks healthy for the Blues, but once again Stuart Williams has to step up. I don't think we'll see a change from him. He knows that it was just the line that he threw that meant when the ball did hook, it hooked into the head pin rather than into the pocket on that last throw. So just needs to sort that out, Cass.
Yeah, hopefully won't leave Dom too much to shoot at if he doesn't strike. It was an unforced error by Dom Barrett.
And I'm sorry to say, from Team Europe's point of view, it's a massive split. And the final day at Weber Cup 16 is getting worse and worse for the Blues.
Too much reaction in the back end. Leaves the 4-pin and the 10-pin. Quite a large split. It is makeable if Dom Barrett can get to the left-hand side of this 4-pin. Stuart's not looking very happy. Well, actually, more is Dom. Could be another open frame. Give it a shot.
Oh, good try. Very good try. Just couldn't quite get the angle and chip it across. But that open frame means that for the first time in this match, Europe on to the back foot at 244 for a potential maximum. But from USA's point of view, they have to have a strike from Parker Bohn III.
Well, you say that, but look at the maximum scores. USA have just got their nose in front. If they can strike off. 2 errors by the European duo. 2 strikes and then 2 open frames. Big damage caused.
Tight again. You could see that all the way down the line. Bohn is throwing quite close to the centre, so any hook that happens in that small, dry part of the lane, it's just going to take it straight through the deck.
Yeah, an overreaction in the back end. Just the last 15 feet is where the lane is dry and the ball snaps up so quickly. As I think you said, Simon, if Parker goes wider, he's going to get snagged up and not make the pocket. So he really is struggling now on this strike line.
It's Bohn v Williams at the moment. 2 captains confined to a spare ball roll. They won't like that.
Well, no, it's all to play for. Push it back on the Europeans here just to make a mark.
Yeah, I think Stuart Williams has got to not overcompensate. And you're quite right, Cass. Think sensibly. Think about just filling this frame. Knocking all 10 over, whether that be with his first ball or with a combination of his and Barrett's ball, but just get the frame filled. Well, single pin spare. Not too much of a problem still.
Well, Stuart's not looking very happy, but it was certainly a better shot. I'm not quite sure whether that was a ball change or not. Just a fraction high leaves the 4 standing. It's a very makeable spare for the European captain and good friend of Stuart Williams.
They all have to be hit. You pay scant attention to the spare shots at your own peril. Full concentration required. And does it nicely. Has to move it all the way across the oil from one side of the lane to the other, but no trouble. Yeah, that's confirmed by Dom, isn't it, Cass? Good shot.
Yeah, absolutely, but it becomes a 1-pin game at the moment. Parker Bohn looking for a strike. He hasn't had one. Struggling with his strike line to get into the 1-2 pocket and carry all 10.
Got it. Well, he was due to arrive at some point, and now Europe in a bit of trouble here if Stuart Williams can't match Parker Bohn's strike.
Yeah, good looking shot. Raises his arms, hits the pocket, carries all 10 pins. What more can I do? Absolutely great.
And he did that with 15 feet to spare. He knew it was good. That's confidence for you.
And the important thing is it brings up Tommy Jones to shoot first ball next frame. So yeah, pressure time. Stuart Williams.
Needs a strike here for pressure. Thrown the same line. Gets back. Gets 10. This is a fantastic match.
Strike for strike, and it's still just 1 pin difference. After 6 frames, a much better shot from Williams. Gives it some space, gets the reaction in the back end. It might be thin, but it's certainly knocked them all around. Carried 10. He's got to be happy with the result. He may not be happy with the way the ball hit. Got the result though.
So Tommy Jones on strike, but since then has had to throw spare balls because of Parker Bohn's trouble on this lane. And again, that can do things to you. You have to be a big player to be able to sit that out. No ball change for Jones, sticking with the same ball all day at the moment. Cuts through the head pin, and he was very close to taking all 10, but it would have been a huge slice of luck if he had.
Yeah, it was left of his target, off of his hand, deep inside, actually crossed the head pin to the left-hand side, and it's fortunate just to leave the single pin standing.
So he'll be back.
Yes, indeed. And Parker will have to take the single pin across the right-hand side of the lane. He'll use all the full width here and go straight at it. Nicely done.
That strike from Stuart Williams, massive. It's given Don Barrett a chance here.
This is the stage of the game where they need to take advantage. It's frame 7. They're working on a strike. USA failed to double up. This is a time for Don Barrett to bury one in the pocket and carry all 10. Former PBA world champion. Several titles to his name. Best bowler ever to come out of the UK and now a European captain.
US fans watch on nervously. Oh, the European contingent yelling that one down the lane. They knew it. Once it got to the break point, Dominic Barrett was in.
Well, it was certainly a captain's shot, wasn't it? When a strike was needed to make 2 in a row, up steps Don Barrett and just blasts the rack. Lazy temping just in the corner, but it's gone, and it's 2 strikes in a row, and it's high fives all round, which will bring Stuart Williams up to shoot first ball in the next frame. More importantly, the maximum scores have gone Europe's way if they both strike out. 2-3-4, 2-1-5 as it stands.
More nail biters this afternoon in this session than the whole Weber Cup 16 put together. It's a baby split for TJ, and USA's problems are now increasing.
It's not that bad a shot. It's a fraction high on the head pin, but look, it leaves the 4 pin and the 9 pin standing. And usually it's a spare that the left-hander can take. He can slide this ball out left-hand side of the 4 pin and chip it across. It's easier for the left-hander to do than it is for the right-hander.
Still odds on for an open though, and it is an open frame. And the score for Team USA once again plummets below 200. 2-3-4 against 1-9-2 as the potential maximums, which means that little bit of breathing space for the Europeans, Cass. So keep filling the frames from here, not necessarily strikes.
I think a strike here could be the game winner if Stu can blast it away.
Well, he's played well in the doubles as Stu Williams. He's been a bit of a strike machine. 8 strikes so far. Been a very reliable go-to man for Team Europe.
Let's make it 9.
No, it doesn't come back, and it leaves a stinker. And Team Europe now in the mire.
Can you believe that? USA open up with a split. And Europe go and do the same thing. It's the 2-8-10 standing. It's now the 8-10 standing. That will be an open frame. That's just crazy.
Well, he could have done with the 2 standing, couldn't he? Because he's taken it out. so far at Weber Cup 16. He'll struggle to take this one out, so an open frame means that we go down to the wire once again. This is going to be a tense, nervy finish to match 22.
Just 8 pins the difference if they both strike out. It's frame number 9, and it's a game that seems that nobody wants to win.
So TJ has to do what he's been doing most of the day. Really has to be a strike. Otherwise, he won't be able to put pressure on Stu Williams' next visit. He's got it. He's got it. He's making Stu Williams stand up and play.
Certainly was a real captain's shot, wasn't it, from Jones? Foundation frame, frame 9. The game was slipping away from him, but he's given him a lifeline with that strike.
So beef stew, because he missed last time up in terms of the strike anyway. He has to go again, has to find the line. Oh no! Leaves the 10 once again. And now just 2 pins in it on those potential maximums if Barrett can take the 10 out.
How crazy is this? Not a bad looking shot at all. Leaves the ringing 10 in the corner there, and that can only be a spare. And so pressure very much back on the European side. And it's going to be Parker Bohn that's going to be standing up to shoot 2 strikes and possibly snatch this game away right at the death.
Well, Cass, it's poor pinfall, but it is unbelievably watchable stuff. It's compulsive viewing. So 192 is a potential maximum if Parker Bohn can strike this off the card, and that would mean that the USA shut Team Europe out in match 22 for a 4th point in a row in this afternoon session.
Simon, this really has to be a strike for Parker Bohn. They can make 190, it's going to make the European boys stand up and shoot something. If he doesn't strike, their maximum score is going to drop down to 171, 172.
No, have another think about it. This is Parker Bohn at his best. This is an elite athlete who's been bowling for so many years, who knows that if it's not all good to go, he ain't going. He will only play when he's good to play.
Must be 10.
Oh, it's 10! Massive slice of luck from Parker Bohn, but it was all worth the wait.
Oh, my name is Parker Bohn. I shoot strikes for a living. Well, he's absolutely creamed this one, isn't it? It's so light in the pocket. It's hit him thin, made him spin. It's taken the 3 pin away, and it's 2 strikes in a row.
The pressure released. We know who you are, Parker. Don't you worry about that. What a shot from the legend on this US team. That means the shutout is still on. TJ and Parker can take this away from the European players. So another strike it has to be.
Yeah, if they can strike out with 3 in a row, 192. It shuts the door, as you say, Simon, on Team Europe.
Strike, strike for 4 points in a row. It's as simple as that. And it does sound so simple from the commentary box. Down there, it's a different story. TJ through the head pin, he's left one, and that's horrible. And once again, misfortune befalls the US team, and that might just be the killer blow.
Ouch. High through the head pin, leaves the 4-9 split. 8 pins only. Oh, crikey. Gives chances back to Team Europe. Can Parker take 2 away here and spare this 4 in the 180 game? And it would just be 179.
It is just 179, and that single pin could be crucial. But again, we come down to some straightforward equations. Martin Larsson had to stand up earlier today and couldn't finish it. Oscar Palermo had to stand up earlier today and couldn't finish it. Now it's Beef Stu Williams' turn.
It has to be a strike, followed by a spare for a score of 190. Anything less.
Wow, it's gone silent in Barnsley. It's a strike or nothing for Team Europe. It's a strike! He's done it! Stu Williams sets up the winning opportunity in match 22, and this painful run of scoring that they've had to endure from Team USA this afternoon could be about to end.
Well bowled, Stuart Williams. Don Barrett has 2 balls to make 10 pins.
Under normal circumstances, you'd say that is doable with your eyes closed for bowlers of this calibre. But this is the Weber Cup. This is an atmosphere and a venue like no other. Back to work.
Sorry, Simon. A strike or any spare is good enough, and it will be 180. And it'll be a victory by 1 pin for Europe. The place is silent apart from you and I.
Maybe we should join them, Cass. This is unbelievable. Compulsive viewing.
It just needs a good shot from the European captain. And if he can strike, it's all over with 1 shot.
Through the head pin, leaves 2. Oh my goodness. He's still got to play again. It's Stu Williams that gets the pressure then. 2 pins for the point.
I would have said that was a pressure shot on Don Barrett, and he just tweaked it left off his hand, and it was in the centre of the lane. It didn't make the pocket at all. Leaves 2 pins standing, and Stu Williams has to take both of these away. Out comes his trusted spare ball.
This is regulation stuff.
It's the 3 pin and the 6 pin.
You know, if you're shooting day-to-day pro tournaments, this is regulation stuff, but this is a different atmosphere. Williams for the point. He's got it! And Team Europe stopped the rot this afternoon here in Barnsley. That is a massive point for them. They moved to 15-7. And what was looking like a very troublesome comeback from Team USA has been nipped in the bud by the 2 Brits. Look at that from Dominic Barrett. I've never seen anything like it.
What a funny old game. Great victory for Europe.
Stunning stuff here at the Metronome in Weber Cup 16. 180 beats 179 as Team Europe take another step closer to 17 points. Fabulous stuff, and more to come after the break.